Somebody asks, do you think the Earth is flat? Well, I'll tell you what I don't think. I don't think that the Earth is what we were told it is by NASA. I don't think that the Earth, as we were told, is a spinning ball going at 1,000 miles per hour in outer space with curved water. So no. Water always takes level. We're not spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. If we were spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, that means that the moon must also be spinning at 1,000 miles per hour without any deviation, no wobble, in order for us to all see the same full moon at the same time every single month since the creation of cameras. If the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, that means the moon must be also spinning at 1,000 miles per hour with perfect precision for someone in Australia to be looking at the full moon and me to also be looking at the full moon if I was over in Canada. But what's interesting about the full moon in Australia versus Canada is it's the exact same moon face, but it's upside down. Perfectly flipped, rotated, I should say. So we have some problems here. There's a lot of problems, actually. So what I see this being is a holographic, infinitely expanding realm that we barely know anything about. The human eyes are so limited in our bandwidth of perception to make determinations on truth based off of what we see with our eyes. But that full moon thing is pretty obvious that NASA has itself in a pickle here. They can't explain eclipses properly. They can't really explain shit. But hey, again, this comes back to belief. All of what's happening in outer space is your imagination, and your imagination was programmed with everything you were taught about outer space. So you were programmed with the truth about it. You believe that that is the moon because they call it the moon and everyone agrees that it's the moon. You believe that thing that has rings around it is Saturn because you were taught that that is Saturn. You were shown pictures over and over and over and over again about what Saturn looks like, so much that now it is painted in your mind to where you can close your eyes and you could imagine Saturn without even, being... Let's just put it like this, because this is where I want to stay on track here, and I want to help people, break through some of these limiting belief systems. Everything that you're looking at in the so-called space, outer space conversation, everything you're perceiving with your eyes is an optical illusion. The better your telescope gets, the more clarity you have of what it is that you're looking at. So it's like the guy who has the best telescope, I guess, has the best ability to believe the most and be trusted the most with his or her opinion about what they're perceiving. Like, take a deep breath and really think about what the fuck I'm talking about right now. The institution that has the best telescope, and by the way, when we say best, what are we even basing that on? How clear it looks? How close it could zoom in? But what we are agreeing on is that our eyes are not good enough. And apparently there's no spaceship or rocket ship that's good enough either. Because every time they try flying them into this so-called outer space, and you notice why I'm saying it the way I am. I'm not saying it because I don't. I'm restructuring my sentences because I'm not cast under their spells anymore. But every time they attempt to get this physical object into outer space on camera, you will see the same phenomenon over and over and over again, which is that they're not getting through a barrier. It is impossible to get through the firmament dome. They can't do it. But do I call myself a flat earther? No. Because they have their own shit that they're dealing with. They have their own limiting belief systems that they're dealing with. And they have their own fight to fight. They have a battle that they're in. See, the thing is as I expand consciously, I have no battles anymore. I don't wield a sword anymore. I have no one to fight. Because I woke up and I learned that the only final boss in this video game is myself. It is me, my own imagination, and my own belief. So the more I ponder endlessly about the infinite, the more capable I am of exercising my true imagination. And that is one of the most divine parts of me. And you. The most divine part of man is its imagination. And one of the most, if not the most powerful part of man is one's belief. And belief can be fractaled into all these different dimensions. I would suppose that one of the most beautiful forms, but destructive forms of belief is hope. I say beautiful because it has its merit. It has its use case. We just misuse it. But hope is a beautiful thing. We just don't know how to use it anymore. It's the same thing with the mind. The mind is a beautiful thing. It's not a problem. It is quite arguably the only impure part of you, but it is something that is a beautiful thing once you tap into the utility of it. But just know your whole life you've been programmed with belief from institutions. And that's where that outer space shit comes from. See, the thing that humans love is having nomenclature. We like categorizing shit too. We love for Venus to be this ball in the sky and Jupiter to be this ball in the sky and Mars to be that ball in the sky. It gives us like, it tickles us in this way that makes us feel better. See, if you didn't know where in the sky Mars was, but then I gave you a telescope and I said, hey, look, Mars is over there, and you believed me, and now every time you look up in the sky and you see that, you're going to go, oh, that's Mars. Then you get to tell someone else who doesn't know that that's Mars, and you're going to feel good about yourself then. And it's just handing off the baton of your ego. But the funny part about this is, what if the first person who told you what Mars is was not telling you truth? They were telling you their truth, and you ultimately accepted it because you were ignorant. And instead of you going out of your way and researching and finding truth on your own, you blindly accepted a story somebody told you. This is Santa Claus. This is the Easter Bunny. This is every holiday. This is everything that you've ever accepted as being real because you want it to be real, because you're a human and you like being programmed. You actually love it because it's more comfortable for you. And if I gave you a world where you had to design it all for yourself from scratch, you would either be motivated or you would sit there shaking your head and start crying because you'd say, I'm a baby and I'm in the playpen right now, and I want mommy to bring me a warm bottle, give me a ball to play with, tell me that everything's okay, tell me that I'm mommy and that I take care of you, and one day you'll eventually be let free from this playpen when you're old enough. And you go, thank you, mommy, I like that. See, that's humans. That's all humanity. Some people, by the way, are 60, 50 years old right now, and they're still acting the same fucking way that I just described, that baby inside of the playpen. It's accepting everything you hear as either, oh, this